crosscut sled, I'm able to easily line the template marks up with the blade. Miter saw with a depth stop is another popular way to do this. But every time I tried to bend the pieces after, they would break. So I sprayed the top with water to soften up the grain, and that solved the problem. All my testing is done, and my robot finished my new larger radius jig, so I cut the plywood corners at the router table again and reassembled the bending form. Well, not all my testing was done. On a scrap, I tried to use math to determine how long the piece needs to be and where to place all the curve cuts. And as you can see here, I came up a little short. So I ditched the math and just bent tape around the jig, extending it a little bit, and hoped that it would work. I cut a scrap to that size, put a center mark on it, and lined it up with a center line I drew on the jig. My new radius was 2 inches, so I marked lines 2 inches away from the ends and transferred those lines to my scrap. Now I could take the template I printed from block layer and transfer those marks on the scrap as well. With the blade height set up the same as before, I made cuts on all the marked lines at the crosscut sled, sprayed the back with some water, and I like the look of this curve a lot better. I did notice, however, there was an extra cut that was totally not necessary. The template told me to cut 7, but I really only needed 6. Ready to move on to the real deal, I prepared all the draw fronts. At this point, I'm leaving all the parts oversized and marked a center line on all 4 fronts at the same time. I could use one of those fronts to line up with the center line on the bending form and mark a line where the curve is supposed to start, 2 inches from the end of the jig. The rest of the curve cuts are marked on this board, remembering to leave out that 7th cut, and then the lines are transferred to the rest of the boards. I had just enough of this material to make these 4 pieces. That's why I did so much testing beforehand. I really did not want to mess this up. Figuring out that I